Actually, I didn't tell you this, Colin. I went to Sur La Table yesterday where they have a huge cooking school, and I brought up your name and I said, boy, because we have an event there at Sur La Table. But anyway, we'll do our best today. So I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it. So once again, thank you so much for being here. Taking a little bit of your weekend. What's today? Today's Saturday. Okay. Taking some time out of your weekend, out of your call, out of your day off to join us for White Coat Romance and doing this event with us. So I really appreciate it. This is obviously a very different event, and again, I thank Christine and I thank John for hosting, and I thank all you guys for coming. I think it means a lot when you guys, invest your time, invest your, resources to come and learn, right? So who am I? I am Colin Zhu. For those of you who don't know me, I'm, relatively new actually. I think I joined like a couple months ago, something like that. And I've done a couple of events, and for those that I've crossed paths with, I definitely. So it's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of interactions on the feed, and we're open to learning a lot of different things. And how this event came pretty much to fruition, to manifestation, is had a conversation with Christine, and we found out that we're both board certified in lifestyle medicine. Together. So I do family, and I also do lifestyle medicine. I mainly work as a locums tenens practitioner, dispersing family medicine wherever I go. I'm originally from New Jersey, and so I'm Northeast boy, and here in LA, and I've been in California for a little bit more than 3 years now. And right now I'm just right outside of LAX, and decided to come down to be able to showcase this for you. Lifestyle medicine, survey, who knows what lifestyle medicine is or have heard of it and not have heard of it? Have heard of it, raise your hands. It's kind of half, 2/3, okay, not heard of it. Okay, so a third, okay. So, it's okay, we're here to learn. So lifestyle medicine is not an official ABMS specialty. It's pretty much started by the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, which started in 2003. And basically, it's using evidence-based lifestyle approaches to prevent, treat, and reverse chronic lifestyle-related diseases. Give me an example of what I'm talking about. High blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, stroke, thyroid, preeclampsia, there you go. And how many primary care specialties do we have here? One? Everyone's a specialist? Okay.
I don't really know what I am. It was emergency medicine.
Emergency? You're kind of like in the in-between. So, surgeons here? Couple? Okay, cool. So I'm sure you would agree that there's some sort of chronic lifestyle-related, risk factor component in your patient population, right? And so I found that this to be very helpful. My frustrations started in medical school, where initially I wanted to combine Eastern and Western philosophies. My mom is a traditional Chinese medical doctor. I didn't come from a long line of NDs, and I thought I was going to do that going into medical school. When I went into medical school, followed mentors, predecessors, I realized that everyone was just troubled by some sort of lifestyle-related factor. And I'm sure a lot of you guys, didn't receive enough nutritional lifestyle educational curricula. I know I didn't, right? How many 5 credit hours would you say in medical school for you guys? Show hands. 10 credit hours. 5? More than 5? 10 hours? 12, 15 credit hours out of 4 years, would you say? So personally for me, I only received 10 credit hours. It was mostly biochemistry, right? And mostly for me it was pathophysiology and pharmacology that was drilled into us, right? And then coming out, I realized, man, I'm really just ill-prepared, right? So I just made a lot of detours. Got myself certified in health coaching, went to culinary school, and since then I just used that to enhance wherever I went to publicly speak, hold demonstrations and workshops like this before COVID, and it just so happened that I started teaching a lot of primary care physicians. And why do you think that's a good idea?
Information.
Because what?
So they can teach their patients.
Ah, So what's great about lifestyle medicine is that it's a very ownership, accountability type of profession, and I don't preach what I don't at least try my best to practice myself. So I'm going to give you a little tidbit really quickly. It's a short presentation. So basically, I started off, as you can see, just demoing. Tell me if I'm in the way. I started off in residency, medical school. I started with workshops there. My medical director was a functional medicine practitioner, and he allowed me to start doing workshops as a resident. And then I started presenting. This was at the American College of Preventive Medicine College. That was back in 2016. And believe it or not, it was kind of, I'm sure you guys have been to enough conferences to know that most conferences is just cold, a lot of AC, and pretty barren, right? And I had to produce 2 to 3 recipes out of the Hotel Barron conference room. So it took a lot of coordination, as you can see there, and we were able to, bust out 3 recipes, and it was a sold out. It was the first sold out workshop, humbly speaking. This was a group, the American Preventive Medicine residents out of Johns Hopkins. They had asked me to consult for them. This is a great experience for me and for everyone else, where the preventive medicine residents, what they did was, in their community of Baltimore, they established weekly community classes for the neighbors, everyone that came. And so they would teach them lifestyle, nutrition, wellness type of tips every single week. So I was consulted to lead their culinary classes. And so I taught them the skills, and then they would thereby teach the neighborhood. So I thought it was great. We wrote a pilot article out of it to introduce culinary medicine workshops into the medical residency curriculum. So what is culinary medicine? There's several definitions. I think the most popular is using the culinary arts and combining them with nutritional science, and then just merging those two to be able to apply it to anywhere, primary care, specialties. And for the most part, it's evidence-based, and the science is always evolving. So if you're going to take anything out of this presentation besides the food and the colors and the smells and, obviously meeting your colleagues and friends here, is I want to be able to just leave, one tidbit, and that's teaching about calorie density and nutritional density. You're going to take nothing out else from this, okay? So biochemically, we say that a calorie is a calorie, right? Is that true, or is there a corollary to that? What do you think?
It's corollary.
Fiber.
Fiber. Okay, we'll get to fiber in a minute. I like that. What do you know about fiber? What's your name?
David.
David. Pleasure to meet you, David. What do you know about fiber?
I know fiber will slow down the release of calories, sugar in the intestine. So it would not cause a high glycemic index. So you eat a fruit versus eating the juice.
Yep.
Or drinking the juice.
Yep. Good. So taking you back, biochemically, carbohydrates, fats, protein, they have a certain number of calories per gram, right? That's calorie density, okay? When we talk about nutritional density, we're talking about nutrients, the antioxidants, the minerals, the vitamins packed, within, a single unit, okay? More importantly, you have to think about how Mother Nature wraps these things, right? When you look at Mother Nature, real food comes off of a vine, out of the ground, or off of the tree, is how I teach my patients, If it didn't come from either of those 3 places, I would tell them to minimally, ingest it pretty much, right? Minimally intake it. So this is what 200 calories of food looks like in different boxes. You guys see it? Yeah? Okay. So is that surprising to you? So in the top rows, okay, you have celery sticks, you have peppers, you have broccoli, okay? You start going down, you have an avocado there, you start getting into bread, looks like M&Ms, raisins, Hershey Kisses, loaves of bread, and guess what? They're all 200 calories each. You see what I'm saying? So the point is that it depends on how things are wrapped. This is something about the stomach. You guys know how the stomach works, right? The interesting part about this is that where are the stretch receptors? Bring you back to school. Where are they mostly found? Where are my surgeons at?
Over here. I don't remember in the vagus nerve.
So stretch receptors, vagus nerve.
Where's the other end of the vagus?
Yeah. In terms of organs, you know, where are they located? Stomach, right? I heard stomach. Okay. Where else?
Small intestine.
Small intestine. There you go. So there's new research that says that the mechanical receptors, when you fill up the stomach, okay, it stretches, thereby signaling hormones to, you know, tell us that, hey, stop eating. And they found that there's actually more in the small intestines, okay, displayed by here. So this is calorie density versus nutritional density. If you guys want, I can just email you guys this presentation so that you guys have this. The point is that from where I teach from a whole foods plant-based approach, okay? Now, whole foods plant-based. So how many of you guys know what that means?
Yes.
John?
Christine, raise your hand.
Passing the hot potato that fast already? What does whole foods mean?
So you should try to eat foods as much in their full format as possible, whole plant-based foods. And we sometimes say WFNPB NO, no oil, right? So we should really be trying to eat whole foods with their fiber intact, because the absorption of food with the carbohydrates and the oils is totally different when it's with the integral fiber.
Yeah, yeah. So whole foods is, like we said, how Mother Nature intended it. So as much wrapping around the macro and the micronutrients, right? Because when we think of things, we're used to thinking things in its component. We're not as used to thinking things wrapped, right? And that's what we want to go towards to. Because as complex as our bodies are, that we're still continuing to learn, it's still just as complex with food, right? And we want to be able to ingest everything, all the intricacies that come with it, right? So this is what 500 calories look like for oil, cheese, meat, grains and beans, and fruits and vegetables. Now, obviously, this is a sketch, right? But it's a nice visual depiction of what actually happens when you're ingesting more plant food than animal-based foods, and how much that actually takes up in your stomach. Okay. The point is that when you're eating more animal-based foods, okay, you're going to be ingesting a lot more fats and a lot more volume just to stay satiated. Whereas the opposite end, you're ingesting a lot more with a lot lower calories. Okay, so more plant food, lower calories, higher nutritional density. Animal-based foods, lower nutritional density, higher in calories. Make sense? These are calories per pound. This is a great graph, by the way. Go for the greens. So I would send you this, I would print this out and just hand it to your patients and tell them to go for the green. An apple is not just an apple, it's also fiber, like we talked about, like David said, phytochemicals, minerals, vitamins, and the microbiome. How much are we hearing about the microbiome now these days, right? Because we're talking about the immune system, we're talking about gut health. What percentage of the immune health is in our gut? The immune system. What percentage?
Large or not?
Large part. How large?
75%.
I hear 60 to 70%. So pretty much, how you. So pretty much. That was a guess. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. So pretty much, it's safe to say that what you put in your mouth influence how your gut health is, which is where your microbiome is. Okay, and also how the immune system is affected. Okay, how many? I'm going to put a blank number. How many microorganisms are within our microbiome?
A trillion.
Trillions. How many trillions?
3. Keep going.
10.
10.
100.
That's actually the top end. So it's 30. It starts at 39 trillion. So how many human cells?
1/100.
So there's actually 9 to 10 microorganisms within you to one human cell that we have. So essentially we're one gigantic superorganism walking around. I'm sure that sounds appetizing. So let me see, where are we at? Okay, so basically last thing is fiber, like you said, right? So the most important thing about fiber is the soluble and the insoluble. The most important thing out of that is short-chain fatty acids, which help us lower cholesterol, help us with satiety, right? Help us decrease heart disease, so many different things, okay? I have book references, but fiber is the name of the game. How many percentage of Americans get our recommended daily allowance of fiber in this country?
10.
Don't look up there.
10.
I already looked.
Very small.
Fiber intake.
Probably nobody.
5%.
10. Less?
3.
2?
Is 3%. So 97% of all Americans are deficient in fiber. And I would argue that fiber is one of the most essential nutrient that we need. So, okay. So fiber. I'm not going to bore you with these guys. Practical tips. I will kind of tell you and teach you practical tips as I go. Okay. And then these are resources for you guys. Okay. The first one is a link. So if you want to help someone eat more plants, okay, wherever they're at in the spectrum, you know, whether they're a carnivore, they're extreme vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, wherever the case may be. I do families, so I do the whole spectrum, right? So I meet them where they're at, okay? I don't push them. I don't, push anything. I just say, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Smith, eat more plants, okay? Because if you think about it, is there any downside of increasing plant intake?
No.
Can anyone think of any?
Turn to half plant.
Besides a walking superorganism. So there really isn't, okay? So there's a great program put out by the Physician Committee of Responsible Medicine, and they have a free program in English and in Spanish of a 21-day kickstart that you can give to your patients. They just go online, register, and they have video modules and recipes and workbooks, okay? If you want nutrition CME, okay, the second link is for you. It's free. If you want to up your nutritional educational game, it's there as well. And then I highly recommend you check out Lifestyle Medicine, the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and join and learn as much as you can, not just for your own health, if you choose to, but for your patient's health. So, because at the end of the day, the patient will still look up to you as role models and community members, community leaders. So, who's ready to see a demonstration? How's the Aqua Fresca for everyone?
So good.
Needs more alcohol.
That would be chef recommended, not physician recommended. All right. So, again, please give a round of applause to Miley and Cheeto for helping me. I greatly appreciate it. So, all right. So, in the Facebook Messenger group, I put in all the recipes into one PDF, and then also some handouts for you guys for not only for your own perusing, but also to disperse for patients as handouts as well, okay? So, any questions so far? Okay. So the first recipe that you're drinking right now, okay, is a watermelon agua fresca. It is made up of watermelon, surprisingly. Does anyone know how to pick out a watermelon?
So
A round one.
So a round one?
Rather than the oval one.
Okay, okay. Well, there's different varieties. There's different varieties. I guess it depends on your preference.
And it should feel heavy.
Heavy and hollow.
So it takes a couple of knocks, right?
Yeah.
It takes a couple of knocks. Okay. So there's no, real, rules or standards to it. So what you want to do is find dimpling, at the tip right here. So the more it curves in, okay, what I found, it becomes more ripe, okay? And there's a certain sound. I don't have another one to compare it to because I already used it for you guys. But when you knock on it, there's a certain reverberation that you will hear, okay? You just have to knock on a few of them, all right? Not on doors, on watermelons. And then also, if you can see here, there's a spot, okay? There's a spot here, okay? It's usually flat. Okay, and it looked like it's been scraped upon, okay? Look for those, okay? So essentially, all the recipes are in serving sizes of there are serving sizes of 4, and then obviously everything has been tailored for you guys. So what you want to do, has anyone had an agua fresca before?
Now I have.
How does it taste?
Great.
Very good.
Can anyone, besides looking at the recipe, tease out what else is in it?
Basil?
Nope.
Oh, what was that? Mint.
Mint, okay. So mint is used as a garnish. What else?
Cucumber?
Cucumber.
Yeah.
Huh. So, who cooks at their own home? Raise your hand. 80%. 85%. I saw a wiggle. Okay, good. That's good. Is it challenging to cook for yourself? Yes or no? Why is it challenging? What's your name? Sanjay. Sanjay, nice to meet you, Sanjay. Why is it challenging?
For me, I just cook too much, and I hate wasting food. So.
You cook too much, you hate wasting food. Okay. So what do you do to circumvent that?
Buy it from outside.
You buy from outside? Do you cook? Do you cook for yourself, or do you have a family?
No, just myself.
So we'll set this aside. So the ladies have also cut up some English cucumber. So the recipe calls for watermelon. Okay. Yes, I say water, not water. I'm from Jersey, so. So you have watermelon. I go for seedless, and so that way we're not. You're using a high-powered blender, like a Vitamix, or I think John had an Oster or something like that, or a Ninja. Okay, doesn't have to be a Vitamix. Okay, we'll throw in some English cucumber. Okay. We have lemon juice.
I really like hand squeeze on them.
So if you don't have a juicer, so how do you juice your lemons?
So I usually use it to like actually impart my mix, like when I'm cooking. So what I'll do, like cut it in half, and I'll squeeze it over the top.
Nice, nice.
It's forearm, right?
Yes. That's how you work them out, right? So this is a juicer and a strainer, right? So. Yeah, it's nifty, right? You can easily find this on like Bed Bath & Beyond, so I have no affiliation with them. Okay, so we have lemon juice, we got English cucumber, we got watermelon, right? So what other ingredient did I put in there?
Peaches.
So typical agua frescas, if you ever see like a little cart on the corner, right, or on the boardwalk, right, they usually douse them with a lot of white sugar. Okay, nutritionally speaking, date sugar is probably the best sweetener you can get. Date sugar is literally dates pulverized. Okay, so it's still whole but broken down, right? What does process mean? Raise your hand. Anyone? Not all at once.
Yes, the stuff that makes its oil stripped out.
So process means that you're taking something in its whole form and you're breaking it down, you're refining it into smaller, so sugar, right, is a good example. Where does sugar come from typically? Sugar cane, right? Has anyone seen actual sugar cane?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's great. Very
Have you, yes, right? Describe that experience.
It's more difficult to get that sweetness because you have to work for it.
Right.
It's chewy, fibrous.
Yeah, it's chewy, it's
Very
fibrous. What's the color like?
Pale,
Pale?
and green, yellowish. My family's from Maui. We have a lot of sugar cane.
All right, so we'll just do that for now so I'm not overflowing it. All right, so basically also white peach. To finish what you were saying, typically they'll take, sugar cane and break it down into almost like a syrup, right? How does the brown form?
Bleaching?
Yeah, there's like a process where it strips the brown as well. So as you can see, it's refined and it's processed and it's, pretty much white. So you're taking from its whole form and almost breaking it down to almost easily broken down to glucose. And David was the one that said that fiber helps to improve not just the satiety of it, but also to what?
Slow down the release.
Slow down the release, right? So
What's Dave's specialty?
what's Dave's specialty? I don't know.
He's a Chia.
So from here, you're adding more water, okay? So I probably would fill this guy up to maybe halfway. All right, you guys can see it? Instead of using white sugar, like we talked about, you use dates, okay? It doesn't impart a very strong taste, like maybe maple syrup. Has anyone cooked with maple syrup or honey? It imparts like its own like really strong taste, right? If you're really into that, have at it. But even
Are those good alternatives?
they are lesser, in terms of alternatives. Honey has a lot of fructose in it, so I'm sure David has a lot of GI patients that have a problem with fructose, right?
It's the same as the agave, like syrup,
Yeah. So I've actually looked this up, and they've done studies where they've paired up agave, brown, white, honey, molasses, maple syrup, and they found that dates actually work the best, and nutritionally speaking of, better for you. So for the most part, I, use date sugar, or we've been actually using just whole dates. So go ahead.
Can I use, if I use sugar in a meal, can I just blend dates and use it like as a sweetener instead?
If you blend dates in?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. To do what?
I just make random things.
Random things? What kind of random things?
So my prep meal is usually it's a turkey stir fry with a spice profile that I add on it, and then I do a reduction with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually use the amateur powder to add the sweetness, see like that mango powder, but like I might try dates,
Yeah, try dates. Yeah. So what you do is that watermelon imparts its own foam. So I take a strainer and strain it out, and then pretty much it's done, and then we just pour it into a pitcher. There you go. Get some ice. Yes.
Ah, there we go.
All right, so that's your first recipe. Any questions? The rest of the recipes we've actually made for you guys, and we're just going to kind of skip some steps just for the essence of time, and I'm sure you guys are really hungry. So, who's hungry here? Raise your hand. All right, nice. All right, so the next bit we're going to do is the curry that we have prepared. I term it orange blazing Thai veggie curry. All right, so it's basically a plant-based take on a lot of curries. Curries could be in Thai form, could be in Indian form. Some of the best, curries, in my opinion, are from those two. And I'm using two main ingredients. We have a sweet potato and butternut squash, right? These guys have worked a lot to break this down to prepare for you guys. So, has anyone cut into a butternut squash before? Yes? Okay. How challenging is it?
Very challenging.
Very challenging. Okay. That's what I like to hear. We like challenges, right?
No.
No? Who said no? Why not? All right, so I don't have the original form, but basically there's like a little stem that comes out, and it looks like an eggplant, but orange, okay? And it's a little bit hard, okay, more firm. I would ask you guys to knock, but we're gonna try to be as touchless as possible. So it is challenging because the peel is hard, okay? Quick tidbit, should you buy everything that's organic in terms of food? What do you counsel to your patients?
No.
No.
If
No.
you're not going to eat the peel, it doesn't matter.
What?
If you're not going to eat the peel, it doesn't matter.
So, in generally speaking, would you get peeled foods organically?
Like, would you buy pre-cut foods?
Nope. Would you buy organic foods that have a peel?
Like an organic banana. You're not going to eat the banana peel.
Okay.
So, I wouldn't put that organic.
Okay.
But berries, you're going to eat the
Yes.
you're going to peel your strawberries.
Yes. Yes.
So then,
So generally things with a peel. Your name?
Clarissa.
Clarissa. Thank you. It's like that old TV show,
It
right?
is.
Explains it all.
Explains it all, right? What was her last name? Hart or something like that? Melissa Hart.
Melissa Joan Hart.
Man, dating each other. I'm sorry. Anyway, so basically, anything with a peel, I generally say you don't have to buy organic. You don't have to get everything organic. What does organic mean?
It's something less pesticides.
Okay. What
They have
else?
a certain amount of pesticides they can't have. I think they have to have a certain crop size. I think they can still be genetically modified unless they state otherwise.
So organic pretty much means that you're not using synthetic pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, things like that. GMO or genetically modified organisms is typically separate, okay, but sometimes they lump them together, okay. how challenging is for a farm to get a USDA organic seal?
Very challenging.
Why?
Because a lot of other crops are going to die.
I think I have a certain number of years, right? Like 3 or 5 years, where you have to have the plant protect with chemicals.
So yeah, there's a certain process to it, and it's very costly. Okay, so getting the actual seal is a very it's very expensive for them, and as farmers, not everyone can afford, getting that process and getting the actual seal. So just because it doesn't have a seal doesn't necessarily mean they don't practice organic farming practices, right? So just keep that in mind. Does anyone know what food miles means?
How long the food had to travel to get to you locally, like how far away it was where it was grown.
Exactly. So last time you went into a supermarket, you look at a peel. Where, what is the furthest country of origin have you seen?
Ecuador, yeah.
And why do you?
Fish comes from all over Vietnam.
Yeah. And why do you think it has to come from all these different countries? How come
It doesn't.
How come we can't just grow them here?
It's cheaper there.
So it's money.
It doesn't have to come from different countries.
So food, there's a lot of nuances with food. Am I right? There's economical, political, cultural, right? And what's interesting about food is that, besides, for example, alcohol and smoking, we can live without smoking and alcohol, right? But we can't live without food. So it's safe to say that, whatever we put in our mouths, it's a very conscious decision, right? I like to say to my patients and to my fellow physician colleagues that, whatever you put in your mouth either feeds disease or feeds your health, okay? So, basically, you cut up the butternut squash into pretty much small to medium dice, okay? And we're gonna do the same thing for the sweet potato, okay? Now, anyone tell me how you need to stand in front of a cutting board?
Very carefully.
Not all at once. Very what?
Very carefully.
Because of our speed dial.
So I like to actually cook with the peel on top because it still has the nutrition, the fiber with it. Okay, and again, we're basically cutting it into the same size. All right. So how you should stand with the cutting board is making sure it lines up to the edge right here. Okay. Typically, you can have a mat to prevent it from moving. You do not want this to move. Why?
Yourself.
You can cut yourself, right? Last thing you want. Basically you want to stand pretty much perpendicular to it. Some people in commercial kitchens would have like a standing mat to offset the fatigue of their joints. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And for those people working in the industry, where you think doctors are have a anal personality with certain things, so do chefs and cooks and line cooks and everyone in the kitchen. The board needs to be clean and clear space all the time. So this would be okay, but it's cluttered. Oh no. Just think about like when you're attending, rains down on you for something. That's exactly how an executive chef probably pointing a knife at you. So, not to say that was one of my experiences. Has anyone made sweet potato fries? How did it turn out?
Delicious.
Nice. So what does sweet potatoes have? I heard it.
Beta carotene.
Okay. And what does beta carotene do?
Vitamin A activities.
Mm-hmm. Give me a condition that it helps.
Eyesight. Your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Any ophthalmologists in here? Huh? So macular degeneration. So I'm going to put these aside so you guys have an idea. Okay. So essentially, the curry is you take a baking sheet, okay, and you line it up with parchment paper. You have these guys out, okay. You line it up, okay, and we're going to be putting cinnamon, curry powder, ground turmeric, chili powder, and mustard seeds, okay. And that's what we did for this dish, okay. You preheat the oven 400 degrees, okay. Once it's preheated, you have the parchment paper lined up, laid out, and you put it in, and you set a timer for 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes are up, then we had prepared broccoli, green beans, and red onions, okay. So as this is cooking, what we did was we took a stock pot like this, okay? We cook this guy down, this guy down, this guy down, okay? And would you use oil? How many of you guys use oil to kind of cook? Okay. So what do we learn about the presentation? So what I like to teach is a transition. I teach my patients progress over perfection. Okay, and you meet them where they're at. So they, work with oil. You counsel them, why it has, negative effects. Why does it have negative effects?
It's mostly fat-based, so it's going to slow down digestion. A lot more highly processed.
Yeah. So basically, it's a very calorie-dense food, right? All right. So after we have that base going, okay, then what I did was I threw in, I've used all of them, coconut milk, okay, probably a fourth of the actual non-dairy milk in the recipe, okay, and then the rest of it I use oat milk. Okay. The reason why I wanted to use coconut milk because most curries, have some, coconut in it. There's been a lot of mixed evidence with coconut milk, oil, things like that. So I use as little as possible, okay, in this recipe. And then I use the rest with oat milk. To sweeten it, use dates, okay, just like a hint of sweetness, okay. And then we kind of stirred it up around, bring it up to boil. Once these guys were done, we threw it into the pot and then bring up to boil and then simmered it, for the next few minutes. Oh my God, everything's burnt. No, I'm kidding.
So if
I don't know if you can
oil,
smell this.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If not oil, what can you use, or you just don't use any oil?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So, anyone smell it? It smells great, by the way. So there's a lot, it depends, okay? So I'm gonna briefly go over cooking techniques. So roasting, grilling, baking, anything that's super high temperature, frying, deep frying, okay? You're applying a lot of heat to something, okay? And what ends up happening is that you're going to create what? It has an acronym. HCAs. He's like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's not good.
Why is it not good?
It's carcinogenic. Right?
Ah. So HCAs are heterocyclic amines and found to be carcinogenic. So where's my? So what did we find what did we find when we were baking? When we baked these guys, and it became what on the bottom?
It burnt.
They burnt, right? What color were they?
Kind of black.
Kind of black.
Yeah.
Okay. So rule of thumb is that if you have something pretty much as black as night, okay, I probably would minimize as much as possible. How does the body help us in combating that? Antioxidants. Oh, there you go. Wow. Wow. Nice. Nice. Round of applause. So yes, antioxidants. So that helps us to fight oxidative stress. So when you're eating more plant food, you're going to be increasing your antioxidants level, and that helps us. So even if you had in the past or have it occasionally, if you go out to barbecue grilling, we have those foods to be able to combat that for us. Okay.
So oils like even avocado oil or tallow or
So there's a range of oils, right?
Yeah.
You got canola, sunflower,
Right.
vegetables, oils.
and those are bad. Generally.
Yeah, so most vegetables, canola oil is one of the most GMO products, okay? That's very unfortunate. You have canola, right? You have soybean, right? You have, what else? Can anyone?
You got coconut, you got avocado. You got
Yeah, so there's a lot of different oils, yeah. So if you have to use oil, I would use avocado, okay? Because that has a higher smoking point. Okay, so it doesn't get burnt. A lot of people use extra virgin olive oil. I would just use that to just, as a dressing, just to, don't apply heat to that, okay? How do you store oils? If you have oils, how do you store oils in your cupboard?
Dark.
In a dark place, right? And what container?
One that they have.
That is... You are definitely right. All right. So yes, it's in a dark container, preferably glass. So as I'm doing this, my assistants, my lovely assistants, what we're going to do is we're going to start bringing those two guys onto the table. So, who likes tofu? Yeah? Okay, okay. And what do you know about tofu?
It's a process.
Okay, that is true.
Right.
From what?
Soybeans.
Soybeans. Okay. Now, what do we commonly hear about soybeans? Estrogen. Does soybeans have estrogen?
I do hear that.
Yeah. So you commonly hear about it having estrogen, pseudoestrogen components similar to it. Okay. So how many, raise your hands, how many think that tofu, soybeans, having these components causes cancer?
Probably not, since you're giving it to us.
So you're absolutely right. So a lot of old school thought is that it does, right? Because it has a component called isoflavones. Okay, isoflavones biochemically mimic estrogen and testosterone. Okay, but what the studies show is that they latch on to breast cells, which cause a lot of concern or not a lot of concern.
I think not a lot of concern, because I hadn't heard of it
You haven't heard of it?
causing concern.
Okay, but this guy heard it. So what it is that it actually attaches to, there's two receptors, alpha and beta receptors on breast cells, okay? So tofu, okay, actually, that the pseudoestrogen, they actually attach to beta receptors, and that they found does not promote cancer cells, okay? What it does find is that in females, it actually lowers the risk of breast cancer. Can you guess by how much?
20%.
You're On a roll. You're like, that's such a guess.
I'm such a guess. I need to play lottery, man.
It's 30%. 30% lower risk of breast cancer. So it's something that you can actually recommend to your patients, and also females in their teens, preteens as well, because they find that to be a cancer preventative. Raise a hand. Do you think that tofu actually helps with men? Have a positive effect for men?
Yes.
Sure.
No idea how. I just figured it was that right.
Yes, it does. How? With what?
Lower breast cancer in men.
That's right.
I don't know if that's true. I gotta look that up. But it actually lowers the risk of prostate cancer. By how much?
20%.
20 or 30.
I'm gonna guess if it's responsive. If you're talking about like estrogen and like an inhibitor, I'm gonna go with like close to 60.
69%.
That would be amazing. But it's 29%.
So do these benefits apply to soy milk as well?
Yes. But remember, anything that's stripped from Mother Nature and into a container, plastic, it's processed, right? But, because they also have to put other ingredients. So quick rule of thumb, where is the safest and healthiest portions of the supermarket? Let's just say this is a supermarket.
The perimeter.
The what?
Perimeter.
The perimeter, why?
Usually where their
Huh?
foods are.
Where the whole foods are. Oh, okay. But more importantly, I heard it. Refrigeration. Ah. Because there's no refrigeration in the middle?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. We know where she's going to make a beeline to. So yes, refrigeration's along the perimeter of the supermarket. So how I coach my patients is that go to the produce section and stay there. Okay, and anything in the middle are on what?
Oreo. Preservatives and
On shelves. Okay, and how does food keep on the shelves? Preservatives. What else?
Dried out, heavily processed.
Salted or
Artificial seasonings, colors, dyes.
nitrates.
Yeah.
stay with their shelf life.
Yeah. So, for example, a Twinkie is vegan. Is it healthy?
Yes.
On a roll. So things closer to Mother Nature. Okay. So going back to this, any questions with the curry? We bring it after we put all the vegetables together, bring it up to a boil. Okay, you adjust seasonings as your palate, warrants, and then we simmer it back down, and hopefully you guys will get a taste. So,
Do you want us to start?
yeah.
Can you tell them how to serve it, Colin? Do you want to put the rice on the bottom and then the
So there's a couple things. This is going to be up to you. Okay. How about we do this? Why don't we take a little bit of break? We form a line and everyone get their food, and then we'll come back. Okay. So the fried rice is separate and the curry is separate. Okay. You can combine them together. All right. There's endless possibilities.
Is that like firm tofu? Or
This is the firm tofu. Yes.
Chinese people like all the firm tofu.
Thank you, Colin.
You're very welcome.
The rice, yeah.
I got a question for you. So I've been training Super R right now. So
Christine is showing me how that goes
so
first.
I took a little while at
Thanks, Christine.
and so I'm trying to get like their level of fitness.
It's like a beeline for the food.
Better. But I can't quite hit my back muscles a lot. And so I just took a shot.
Rice.
I think you want to, like a base of rice and then the veggies on top.
Whatever you like.
So I'm really I was aiming for the grams more than anything else. So like for my fat, I was going for a gram per kilogram, and then for protein, I was going for basically
Tell me your first name.
So, and are you eating your
Online? Yeah. I forget,
Yeah, my last name is spelled wrong.
Right, so
Get the patient on board.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll say to myself, if I'll take
I come Long Beach a lot.
we were gonna do that.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of so, and then just realize that.
And no, I work with all kind of buyers. Basically split up the divisions.
Okay, cool.
We only want to work and your youngest one, so you're gonna take everyone that runs.
But anyway, yeah, so
I'm here for it.
she tried so hard with me, and I was like, no, I'm studying. You know,
This is pretty inspiring to me.
no, actually, exactly. I'm actually
I was
really
like, oh, I
impressed.
didn't know. I didn't
Sit
know.
there.
My mother is the top of the health desk. She's like, me, why do you need
Yeah.
No, but
She was doing acupuncture in New York. We're trying to see if she can get license here and, kind of like take all. So it's not easy. It's black rice. I know more theory. Practically, I've done my share of poking. Being poked.
It just breaks up the day and,
That thing that you come down
Oh yeah, that's the
so I mean,
best.
like, yeah.
Sound forget
I'm
it.
like, I'm still doing work, but I'm not, do other work.
I have a
Yeah, I probably need to kind of pick your brain a little bit because we went over the curry, right? We went over the fried rice. Okay, so some of you guys have been asking what kind of rice it is. It's black rice. So if those of you who have not heard of it, there's many different kinds of varieties of rice. We are lucky we're in LA, so we have a great, diversity of ethnicities and cultural backgrounds, and one of the main reasons why I'm here because it's just, very lovely. So I like to shop at Asian markets, Mexican, markets, Indian markets, because they have a lot of herbs and spices that are, lower in cost in bulk. Okay, that you can just kind of like Costco your way in, and just kind of just play it or play around. There's a little Ethiopia, and I've been dabbling in some dishes with that. So it's just a great fanfare of like stuff. So with that being said, black rice, you could find that at 99 Ranch or H Mart would be places. I was speaking to someone here that I start off my week with when I'm prepping for the week like a bed of brown rice and quinoa combination. And why that combination? Because I have all my fiber intake, vitamin B intake. Thank you, Anthony. Vitamin B intake, whole grains. Everything in there, and it's very versatile. Okay, it absorbs everything that you put. At meal prep, I'll cook like 2 or 3 dishes, and then that'll be the foundation. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Last but not least, is the dessert. So I'm making it with chia seeds. Okay. How much do you guys know about chia seeds?
Nothing.
fiber.
Healthy.
Iron? Is there iron?
There is manganese in here, there's fiber in here, there is a lot of omegas in here, okay? A lot of Mexican, Aztec, Mayans, natives back in the day would actually just ingest chia seeds for like long endurance treks, and that would just sustain them, okay? What's interesting about chia seeds, if you've never worked with it before, is that whatever liquid they put in, they actually absorb it. They become these little balls that you'll see. So what we're gonna do is that we're making a chia seed pudding, doing it with a whole variety of fruits. Okay. So with this, I'm just demonstrating it. So basically, if you're making it for 2-3 people, something like that, this would be like good for. I would go up to like. About like that, okay? So maybe like 2/10, 1/5, 20%. And then I use oat milk to, actually before I do that, mixed fruit. So our lovely assistants have sliced up strawberries. Would you buy this organically? Why or why not?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're gonna eat the peel.
Okay.
I thought it was the peel means that you don't have to.
Do you peel a strawberry?
No, if you're gonna eat the peel, because that's the part that gets the pesticide spray on it and all the bad stuff, then you don't want to eat that. But like the banana, that banana peel, maybe it had pesticides on it, but who cares? Because you're throwing it out.
So things with a peel, like she says, quercetin, you could, generally speaking, kind of not buy it organically. So that way, for your patients, you could, help them save a buck. You know what I'm saying? So, and nowadays, a lot of supermarkets have organic sections. So basically, I put in small diced bananas, and then take some strawberries, as much as you want, and then let's see what else do we got. We got some raspberry. Oops. Okay. And then what you want to do is you take your non-dairy milk and you pour it pretty much to like 2/3 volume. So if your chia seeds is representative of like 1/3, you do 2/3 of non-dairy milk. So from here, you can just kind of mix it around so it doesn't stay stuck together. And then just kind of use your eyes and add more chia seeds if you want, depending on your preference. And if you do too much chia seeds, what it'll end up doing is that it will absorb all the liquid and become very, very thick. So it depends on what you want. Okay. And then once you're done like this, what you do is that you stick it into the fridge for a few hours. The chia seed pudding that you're about to receive, I did that last night for you guys. And then you just basically garnish it. Garnish it with mint. So. And then stick that in the fridge, and you can even do it in mason jars, right? For those that eat breakfast, do it in mason jars, just grab and go. You know what I'm saying? You can do this with frozen berries. We had some leftover white peach. We can throw that in there. So that's pretty much it. That is the chia seed pudding. Any questions with that? You guys want to pass that around?
Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's all good. Put dates in that too.
Huh?
You put the dates in that too.
You can put dates in that too. So you like dates, right?
Now I do.
And now
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're going to have a complimentary Colombian cookies.
it might be on the thicker side because it's absorbed a lot of the liquid. But...
So cute. I never had some.
No? Okay.
That's awesome.
So what's in this one is I put some frozen mixed berries. So you got some blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, some bananas, and I threw some mangoes in there. So that's what's different. So the bananas really make it sweet. So bananas, mangoes, papaya, pineapple, those are tropical fruits, right? So for your diabetic patients, I would probably, counsel them to, minimize those, okay? Which fruits have, one of the lowest glycemic index? Berries. Yeah. So definitely, not go crazy with berries, but go crazy with berries.
What are the worst fruits?
Huh?
What are the worst fruits? The highest ones?
I don't know if, I guess people who have fructose intolerance, anything. I would say worst fruits would be like in the form of juice, to be honest. If you can eat them as whole as possible, that would be preferential. But yeah.
I might have missed it, you said earlier, but what are the benefits of chia seed?
So chia seed has a lot of fiber, omegas in them. Okay, there's manganese in them. Back in the day, historically, native Southwestern Americans, Mayans, Aztecs back in the day would consume this, and they would last them for endurance trails. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I really, really hope you guys enjoyed the demo. Please tell us, what you think. I will sooner or later create a Google Forms just to kind of, allow us, me, WCR, to see, if you enjoyed this. Should we, make a workshop where you guys are actually participating?
Yes.
So what do you think? Would you guys want to participate? Raise your hands. Okay. So tell me something you guys learned today.
I did not have enough fiber in my diet.
The part about 97% of Americans not having enough fiber was astonishing.
Yeah, definitely.
Astonishing.
So the recommended RDA recommendations would be 28 grams per day, okay? And most Americans consume around 15, okay? Plant-based experts, we recommend 30 to 40 grams, okay? I was telling someone out there that, how do we consume so much because it's just so fibrous to take, it's a lot of food, right? So one of the things I love doing is getting a high-quality blender and just, this is literally what I do, okay? I put my base, okay, is bananas, apples, 2 lemons, okay, including the peel, all right? Garlic, ginger, okay, chia seed, hemp seed, flax seed for omegas, fats, and then a whole bunch of greens. So I would literally take a salad box and cover this up with greens, okay? So I don't need to think about what type of greens, how much greens, the different varieties, things like that, okay? That's a very simple way of doing it. Creating meals like this, I'm a big soup and stew and gumbo guy, so whenever I'm busy, I use a slow cooker and just throw everything in there, right? And everything is retained, you know what I'm saying? So there's just a lot of different ways. Look at Indian cultures, Thai cultures, Asian cultures, Ethiopian cultures. They do vegetarian fare very, very well. So yeah.
What do you think of raw cooking?
Raw cooking?
Yeah. Do you feel like overcooking can take away from nutrition?
I think so. Overcooking would be like roasting, grilling, deep frying especially. So I would recommend at least ingesting like a raw component, not all the time, but having some of it. So.
What do you think of like the fiber substitutes, like the
sweet and like citrus substitute. Yeah, that's
The what? The fiber substitutes?
Yeah, like the ones where you mix up here.
Yeah, like psyllium, metamucil, things like that. So what I learned is that it doesn't have all of the, complete like soluble and insoluble fiber components in it. It only has some of it. And it's really instrumented to just cause people to, do number twos, right? But what you're ingesting is like everything, you know what I'm saying? Is fiber found in animals?
Not typical.
What do you guys think?
fiber.
No.
I think I could say yes, but I'm not sure.
You're a GI guy, right?
Yeah. We don't know anything. We have only 5 medication to learn.
What's really interesting, because you're literally like here to here, right? So, you would think, right? But no, animals have zero fiber in it. Zero. So, you might be wondering when I went plant-based. So I grew up eating Chinese fare. We ate everything equally, equal meat, equal plants, grains, things like that. So I transitioned a year after my first marathon, and I had trouble training. I had joint pains, I had back pains, I had bloating sensations. During that time, it was for the New York City Marathon. During that time, I read up on the studies, the evidence. And I was like, you know what, let me give this a try. So after I finished that race, I realized that my recovery was better, my performance was better, it wasn't as sore, and the bloating went away. So other people, effects, are, more, mine was a little bit more subtle. So, but most people feel like they get more energy. They don't feel as tired. It's really the energy. People are just, they're like wide-eyed and, they don't really need coffee anymore. So
I'm eating more vegetable and I feel like you have more energy. That's true. A lot of people have reported. So
yeah, exactly. It's super important.
Yeah.
So.
And there is this thing about inflammations. When you eat certain things, meat have cause you to have more inflammations.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. He was asking about animal proteins. So it is probably one of the best anti-inflammatory, things you can eat. It's just more plants.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a better timing to when to eat plant-based, like a heavy plant-based food? For example, like if I eat a late salad or something, like heavy plant-based dinner, I find it gives me so much energy I can't go to sleep either. It's like, it's almost like drinking coffee sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, in a good way.
Yeah.
It almost just keeps me warm. I have so much energy. Next thing I know, it's late.
Yeah. So maybe try eating it earlier.
Yeah. But sometimes I feel like if you just stuck with a late dinner, it's almost better to eat like a heavy, saturated fat meal.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, depending on if you're like a second shift or graveyard or I would probably eat food. I tell my patients to eat as earlier the better, like not too late. So like 2-3 hours before bed, like stop eating.
Almost has the same effect as coffee in some ways.
Yeah, because you don't want your digestive system to continue to work as you're trying to rest.
Right. What do you think about that intermittent fasting diet?
Intermittent fasting is good. There's been a lot of studies, more and more talking, about the benefits of it. I practice it, for myself. So I don't really eat breakfast. So I do a 16/8 fast, and I eat from 12 to like 7 or 12 to 8. So it saves me time. I don't have to make. I'm not really a breakfast guy, so it saves me time, money, and I don't. I still operate sometimes better.
Yeah, because all you need to do is to miss a break first.
Yeah.
Right, the idea to have at least like 12-14 hours. 16 hours.
Yeah. So that's like a whole another class. So we focus a lot about quality of food. We don't focus a lot about the frequency. And frequency is humongous. So, all right. So I appreciate everyone coming. What I have on the table is my brochures and cards. I wrote a book. I started a website called TheChefDoc 4 years ago, and it's really to kind of inspire people to learn more. I felt like I wasn't doing enough impact outside my 4 walls of counseling, so I created an online resource. So the book is all about how to help people thrive. And I also do lifestyle medicine consulting with a team of 8 doctors, including myself. We're all plant-based, and we're telehealth, we're virtual. So, and then I created an online series for healthcare professionals, and you can get credits. So you can learn about food as medicine, fitness, learn about relationships, community, and enhancing our emotional resilience. And just pretty much things that I wish I had in medical school. So, and for you guys, I will give you guys a discount if you should choose. So, yeah, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And, when the surveys come out, let us know how we did and whether you guys want a workshop in the future. So, thank you so much.